Yeah, you want to talk about Sasquatch?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Sasquatch.
Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
But wait, this isn't Guide to the Unknown. What was I thinking? Since I was a little boy, I've loved spooky legends and scary mysteries. And when I had boys of my own, we bonded over those campfire stories and debated whether Bigfoot was real or if ghosts really existed. And we swore that one day we would find out those answers together. That day has come.
These are our Lowe Files. You have boys?
Yeah, I don't like to talk about them.
It's a surprise to me.
Yeah. Keep things close to the vest.
Of course, yes, you're very private.
Mm-hmm. Even with my own family.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we are here to talk about the Lowe files. We're talking about episodes 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Underwater cave base and Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yep.
You hit me up. You said, I think we better do 2.
Yeah.
Boy, were you right.
Yeah, right.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, listen, they were a joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching famous actor Rob Lowe with his sons John Owen and Matthew investigate odd stories.
What could be better?
Is always going to be a treat.
Totally.
But this is like a 20-minute show, evidently. I didn't remember that.
No, I didn't either. And weirdly, I went through future episodes. There are just randomly some that are 45.
Is that right?
Because I was like, okay, so from now on, I guess we'll be doing, 2 at a time. No, like the next one is 20 minutes, but the one after that is 45 minutes.
Maybe they were trying to like fix things as they went, Maybe somebody behind the scenes was like, we better keep this thing light and frothy. And then after these few because I watched these episodes and I was like, this needs more time. Just needs more time for these things to breathe, even if the underwater base thing doesn't have a ton to it. Mm-hmm. They just need time to be able to get invested in the mystery a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt that these were too fleet of foot.
Yeah, I think that could be. Or I wonder if it's almost case by case. Like they filmed stuff and they were like, all right, there's not a whole lot here. This one's a 20-minute. This one's got a lot of stuff. It's a 45.
Maybe.
It's kind of random.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
I really have no idea.
Yeah, who knows?
So we're just going to have to, we'll figure it out later. But these 2 were each 20 minutes.
Yes.
So that's why we're smushing them together for our episode.
And they see the boys get out on location.
Yeah.
They go deep sea diving.
Kind of.
Well, kind of. I mean, they go in like a submarine or something. What are they in?
They're not in anything. They're on a boat.
And they're just watching the screen of something that's going deeper. Because the guy who's running is going, all right, we're pretty deep now.
Yeah, he's talking about the camera being deep, that they are watching on a monitor.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's even less compelling.
Totally. They're on a ship, I think, called Horizon Blue or something.
Yeah, something like that.
That James Cameron used for research for the Titanic. But no, they are firmly above water the whole time.
Okay, it's confusing to me. We'll get into it all.
Yep.
But Rob Lowe and his sons are here to solve all of the mysteries around the globe.
Yes.
And
I wish they were still at it. This is a show from 2007 that ran for 1 season.
Yep.
Tragedy. That's a mystery that I would like solved.
It's true. And just in case, the last time we talked about the Lowe Files was episode 386 of Guide to the Unknown. It was a couple months ago. But we watched this as it aired.
Yeah.
And it's been sort of a breath of fresh air to go back and take a look at it again.
Feels great.
But also now with the Guide to the Unknown-y sort of lens of like, what were they doing and what are these mysteries?
Yeah.
So I did some extracurricular research on these as well. I don't know if you did.
No.
But we're going to, I might be able to add some additional context to the things that they are studying in the show.
Great.
We'll dive into that and dive 2,000 feet down to the secret UFO base after this commercial break.
Okay, so let's first talk about episode 2, which is that underwater, government or alien or whatever base.
So the show's always open with the boys in their car together.
Yep.
And Rob Lowe usually is the person, at least so far, who like has some form of a personal connection or a personal justification for this week's adventure.
Yeah, it seems like he's mostly bringing these ideas to the table, and like the boys are along for the ride.
Which is nice.
Literally and figuratively. He's driving.
You're right. Again, the vibe is totally chill and very enjoyable. That is another reason why I wish that they were longer, because this is such a hangout. I didn't crunch the numbers really, but like just scrubbing through, quite frankly, both episodes, it's like it feels like a third of the show is them in the car just kind of shooting the shit, and then Rob Lowe's like, you know what? I'm feeling a little peckish.
I know. I didn't remember that at all from my first watch, that they always go to get food.
Yes.
And they always show what they're ordering, which I appreciate. That's a rule on the Real Housewives franchise, that if they go out to eat, they must show what each housewife is ordering, because we want to know. They're
is that
right.
True?
Yeah.
Why? What does that tell you?
It's just interesting. It's just slice of lifey stuff. Like I do want to know what Camille Grammer is getting for dinner.
Well,
and they smartly keep that in. It seems like it would be extraneous, and like your instinct would be to cut that.
Yeah.
But they learned early on, like, no, the audience wants to know that, so we keep that information in.
Oh,
and
okay.
the Lowe files are playing by the same rules.
Interesting. Well, I regrettably I did not write down what they got to eat in this episode. I don't know what I'm sorry to say,
tacos.
I don't know what Rob Lowe wanted for lunch back in 2017.
I think I can tell you pretty much. They got fish tacos
Okay.
in the underwater cave base episode.
Appropriately a maritime meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Sea snack.
Yes. And then in the Bigfoot episode, they did drive-through, and Rob ordered a burger and he asked for extra fries.
Yeah.
And Matthew was like, what do you mean extra fries?
He just goes, there's no such thing as extra fries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a weird way to order.
It is. It totally is.
That I did mark down, because they go to what is plainly McDonald's.
Okay.
And he orders a number 3. So I looked up what the number 3 was. And it's a quarter pounder.
Okay,
Quarter
great.
pounder with cheese.
Yeah.
Man of my taste.
Yeah.
This Rob Lowe.
Absolutely.
John Owen.
A fine order.
Strapping growing young boy in the back orders 2 double cheeseburgers.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's a hungry boy.
Oh, man.
Normal fries.
Yep.
Were we deprived of Matthew's order?
We were.
Now that I think of
I'm
it?
very upset that I don't know what Matthew ordered at all.
God damn it.
Probably got that like McDonald's salad or something. He seems very on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, he does.
Matthew Lowe.
Yeah, he does.
But so in this water adventure episode, they got fish tacos.
They busted John Owen's chops a little bit for ordering his quarter pounders and then getting a water.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, healthy at the end. But I also do that. I just don't really like soda very much.
I know it's very rare these days that I'll have a soda pop. I
just
agree.
don't
I usually just go for the
care
water.
for it that much, so it's not even. I
But
just wondered.
beef, cheese, and bread?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I want those, yes.
So I was like, it may not even be a matter of that. It could just be a matter of preference.
What do you make of the extra fries order?
No, that was really weird.
It felt like an old, I don't mean this in a disparaging way against
Sure.
Rob Lowe, but it felt like an old man-ism kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine dad saying that.
Yeah,
I'll get
yeah.
this with extra fries.
What does that mean? Just like fill up the thing to the very top? Is that? It
You want me
must
to
be.
give you extra, presumably for free?
That must be what it is.
So
'cause
let's
what
pretend
else?
that you work in that McDonald's and somebody has ordered extra fries. What do? I know exactly what I do.
I think I'd be like, do you mean another, like a small fry? Like, what do you mean?
I would asking for clarification is probably
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would ring up another order of medium fries.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
I'd make them pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Ronald McDonald's got to wet his beak.
Totally. Or
Ray Kroc's got to buy more stock. All right, baby?
I don't know if I don't know. I think I'd probably, I might ask for clarification. Depends on when they get me. I might just throw a bunch more fries
Yeah.
in the thing.
I mean, honestly, I probably would just be like, I hate my
I'm just like, all right,
life.
whatever. I don't always.
Oh, Mr. Movie Star needs
we want
extra
more
fries. This is probably how it works in La La Weird. Probably just get extra fries all the time. Rob Lowe.
This isn't even me being like a Robin Hood, steal from the rich and give to the poor. Like in my experience in different jobs, like when somebody wants them, I'm just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
I just kind of do it.
I don't
Like
give two shits.
at Barnes and Noble, they'd be like, this said that it was 30% off, and I was like, well, okay then. And I just hit the 30% off thing.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
All right, well, back to the underwater base. So again, Rob Lowe sort of like explains what the mystery is.
Mm-hmm.
He says that he moved to Malibu when in the 70s, and he remembers hearing people talk about
Yeah.
how off the coast of San Diego was a secret underwater base.
Right.
And for his recollection, his first remembrance of it was that nuclear powered submarines could use that base to get access to a series of tunnels that go underneath Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But there are other people still who say, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That underwater base is an alien
Yeah, obviously.
UFO base.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to, like, people
They're
feel
dueling
very
opinions.
comfortable not knowing what this thing is because they show on a satellite, like a Google Earth, like the satellite view,
Yeah.
I mean, that, just off of what's called Point Doom,
I know.
which is where Rob Lowe grew up.
Hell yeah.
It's Dume, I found out.
Even so.
But Point Doom sounds like some,
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
We got to get to Point Doom. Bilbo.
Yeah.
But looking at that satellite footage, they do that topographical map and they show that part of the ocean floor there is all of a sudden just an oval shape that's perfectly flat on top.
Yeah.
And it looks like a not a natural formation. It looks like some sort of a man or alien
Yes.
construction. And then if you do a 3-dimensional view through Google Maps, you can see that oval with like the flat roof is on top of what seemed to be a series of pillars, almost like the front of the White House or something.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it looks like Roman columns or something like that.
Or a parking garage.
Or a parking garage.
Yeah.
And so in between those columns, presumably that is the entrance to the fabled tunnels that submarines could get access to. But according to Rob Lowe, people have seen things rise out of the water with lights on them.
Yep.
Those probably being UFOs.
And strange lights in the sky.
Right. Yes.
So that kind of drives home the UFO connection.
So it's said to be a hot spot. Now here's something that I looked up because I was curious. He was like, they were just talking about, they were talking about Google Maps enough that I was like,
Right.
well, I have Google Maps.
Yeah, it's still there.
So why don't I look this up?
Yeah.
So I'm putting this on the screen right now on YouTube. In the YouTube version, audio listeners, you can click the link down below or I'll describe it for you. But I have a picture of the Lowe Files episode.
Well, it's just the Lowe Files. We're the
Lowe Files.
Yeah.
I have a picture from the Lowe Files episode up top to compare it to my picture, where you can see the sort of oval, flat-topped thing. It's like it's like a one of those things in the desert, a plateau.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like a flat
Mesa.
plateau, mesa. But then I went on Google Maps 8 years beyond that episode airing here in 2015. Google has it all blurred.
Yeah.
It's all blurred out. Now,
It's like it had some work done.
yes, it's all pixely, it's all pixelated, but that flat-topped area is distinctly blurry. Now, that could have just been a total anomaly or something.
Right.
But as I was researching this, people going back a few years are also being like, why are they suddenly blurring it?
Huh. That's weird.
And,
Interesting.
a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Is it
That is strange. I don't really know what to make of it.
It does feel like they demonstrated they had the capability to take pictures in 2017
Right.
with a great deal of clarity.
Right.
And all of a sudden, not so much.
Huh. That is really weird. Yeah, it looks like kind of like deliberate blurring out.
Yeah.
Like the other areas are clear.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Very weird.
Very odd.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it wouldn't be the first time that Google Maps has capitulated to like the American government to hide something. Let's imagine I'm playing devil's advocate now
Yeah.
to say like that is a secret
Sure.
nuclear sub base or whatever. Hey, they say we want it to be the Gulf of America. Google Maps will do it.
Yeah,
Blur that base.
that's true.
Google Maps will do it.
Yeah.
And blurring can easily come off as like, I don't know. I'm the CEO of Google. Yeah, it just looks like some, some pixelation. I don't know. Maybe the photograph didn't work very well in that spot.
Right, there's enough room to just be like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's just
It's
an
probably no
error.
big deal. Probably
Right.
no big deal. And maybe a 99% chance that it is no big deal. It's just whatever.
I don't know.
it's odd.
It looks deliberate. I don't know.
Well, given the adventure the Lowe boys go on,
Yeah.
I don't see the point of hiding it. Why yank this whole episode?
Either.
If you're gonna,
yeah, I guess that is true.
like, why would the conspiracy end here?
That is a good point, but then I guess that could lead to more questions. Although I don't think people are really thinking about the Lowe files except for us.
That's definitely true.
So I don't think that there's a lot of concern about making sure they yoink the yep.
Well, I did go on Reddit to try to see what people have to say about this base thing off the coast. Mm-hmm. And more than one user cited the Lowe files as one of the only like sources that anyone seemed to ever point to.
Yeah.
Of like someone did send a deep sea diving thing down there to check it out. Here, check this out. And it was the Lowe files. So it's like nobody else seems to have done it.
Yeah.
Or nobody had a better source.
It does seem like kind of a deep cut. Like this isn't I don't know, maybe if you live in California or in the area it's super well known, but
probably
it doesn't seem, it's not like a really prominent urban legend,
right?
You know, so to speak.
I agree. But this is like the joy of a conspiracy here because we'll never know.
Yeah, totally.
But this is also like the blurriness of a Google Maps thing.
Interesting.
Is so simple for anyone to just be like, I don't know, technology is weird. It probably is accidentally blurred.
Yeah, you can just write it off.
Meanwhile, there's someone giggling in the secret base going, they think it's just it's just an anomaly.
A simple camera error or whatever equipment.
And really, they're pulling all the strings, Kristen, pulling them all.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah, so there you go. I could not verify. Yeah. And other people have pointed this out too. I wasn't the first person to try it. Mm-hmm. But just all of a sudden it's blurred when before it had not been.
Peculiar indeed. So they make contact with somebody who can get them on this ship where they can drop a camera into the ocean and go poking around at this, apparent base or whatever. And, like you said, there's a lot of business of them being in the car, talking about going there. Turns out that Matthew Lowe is a big time hobbyist fisherman. So he says that he's going to, throw out a reel, try to catch a spotty.
Catch a spotty. We went.
They bust his chops about that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
We took Zoe just for a personal life story, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know you like to keep things super tamped down in private.
Yes, but my two boys.
There is someone. There's a tangent on a tangent now. I apologize, but there is someone who's relatively famous. Who you and I have spoken to.
Okay.
Who referenced all of I know. I can only tell you so much. But they referenced being like, "Oh, I'm doing something with my daughter today, so I can't talk." Yeah. And I was like, I have never heard this person refer to having children.
Tom Arnold?
Ever. No, he talks about his children all the time on his Instagram. He seems like a very nice father.
Yes.
But no, somebody relatively famous who was just like, I've got a kid, so I can't, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, everything about like your like vibe has never indicated that you have children at all. And I have wondered ever since, like, were they trying to test my fandom of them? Or something to be like, was that a test? Because I'm still paying attention and they still don't let on that they have a family.
Some people keep really private.
I mean, good. Listen, you do whatever you want. Yeah. It's no shade,
I know
whatever.
That Sal Vulcano just revealed that
that's who it was. I was talking to Sal, my pal Sal.
That he's been married for years and has a daughter.
That is true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I guess some people just like really lock it down.
People deserve to have their privacy. It was just a surprise rumor.
No, I totally and I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I know. Well, I do have my two girls, Winnie and Buffy.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we took Zoe down to like the beach and we walked along this pier where like everyone was fishing. It was kind of cool. It's like you'd see like all these people just like with their reels in the water.
Yeah.
And then someone caught a fish in front of us and it was like wriggling and freaking out. And I was like,
it freaks me out.
Wait a minute, what do you do after you catch the fish? And like I feel like I've heard stories of somebody being like, yeah, you smash it with a rock or something. I was like, oh my God, is that about to happen in front of Zoe? What are we gonna do? And we were past them. We got past them.
Sorry to snort.
We got past them before I had to worry about that, but then I couldn't stop like looking for signs of danger everywhere, and I realized that there was seaweed all over this like thing that we were walking along. And curious red spots every so often.
Oh God.
But like there are other kids just walking. This is just beach living.
I know.
This was like the Jersey Shore. This was This was prime boardwalk zone. Everyone's just doing this.
I know.
But I was just like, like all these fish, a bucket with like a fish just like freaking out, looking at me. You know, I'm just like, I'm gonna start throwing other people's fish back in the water.
Oh God, I know. I like walking
horrifying.
along the DNR canal sometimes,
Yeah.
and there'll be people fishing sometimes.
The do not resuscitate canal if you yank a fish out.
And sometimes they get a fish and it's going, and I'm just like, oh God, keep walking.
Oh,
This is not good.
oh, it's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
From a fish's perspective, what a nightmare.
Totally.
It's like being yanked into heaven. It's like a hand coming out of the clouds and picking you up and
Yanked into hell.
pulling you off of the planet.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh my God. The elements are different. You're breathing
Yes.
water,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden you're not.
You're drowning in air.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
Horrific.
Yeah. Anyway, Rob
And
Lowe.
the beach is a whole thing on its own.
It really is. It's a wild
Look at that.
sand, man.
Were you walking around on the sand with your shoes off?
With my shoes on. Yeah. Yeah.
That hurts.
It does. It does. It's not easy to walk with your shoes on either.
No, it's not.
No.
Ugh. Okay. Anyway. Well, these fellas, I guess we're at a beach, but they transitioned right onto a boat.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that they were going in on John Owen, and they were taking bets on how fast he's going to puke.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They were like, that's what it was. I kept trying to remember. I was like, Rob Lowe says something from Wayne's World in one of these episodes, and I couldn't remember where. He says something. He's like, John Owen's going to hurl.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
yeah.
that's Garth.
Right, yeah.
Like, if you're going to spew into this. Matthew hands John Owen a little Dixie cup.
Crumpled Dixie cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, his hubris gets him in the end.
It does.
Yeah.
This was his poise, his togetherness. I was very impressed with the skill of Rob Lowe
Yeah.
puking off the side of that boat.
It made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
His puking.
Yeah.
I don't think that usually if you said to me like, oh, do you think somebody getting seasick and puking is funny? I'd be like, I don't really think so. I don't know. I was by myself and it made me laugh out loud. I don't know
Me
if it was
too.
the sound. He was like, blah, 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 and it was just so sudden.
There's
and
an odd
going flying in the wind too.
I know, because they're speeding around on this boat, I guess,
yeah.
and it just goes off into the night.
Yeah, right.
You know?
He disappeared that puke, or
He
something.
did.
Something did.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's another
vanishing
mystery.
puke.
Yeah.
But he's got an odd manner about
Yeah,
him.
yes.
Rob Lowe. There's like, I think he's intelligent. Right. I think there's intelligent life.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in intelligent life.
Yeah, I do too, and I believe that it lives
On that
in
boat,
him.
and I think it's in
Yeah.
him. And I'm just trying to say, I don't think what I'm about to say is going to make it sound like I'm saying he's dumb, and that's not my point.
Yes.
He's got a sort of vacancy about him.
Yeah. No, he totally does.
He's just kind of like, he looks a little glossed over, and he's enjoying. He's just enjoying where he is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very actorly.
Yes.
I do believe that, like, if he were in like sweltering heat on the side of a volcano, he might still just be kind of like, boy, this is really something.
Yeah, but I'm here with my
This
boys.
is interesting. I'm drinking it in. What an adventure.
Right.
And it's just like, he was clearly in the throes of seasickness, and he's going, he's being like, oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
And even John Owen goes, stop acting. You're just acting.
Yeah.
Like, John Owen gives him no quarter.
No.
Is always just kind of like, stop posing, Dad, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just whip pans to the left.
It's so fast.
And very quickly, abruptly, violently spews off the side of the ship, and then turns back and looks straight into the camera, but readopts his bemused
Yes.
sort of smirk.
bemused. He's like always bemused.
The only thing betraying his actions, I detected a hint of spittle
Yes.
upon his lip.
Yes, as did I.
But it was like a camera-ready type of spittle.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. It was like only a little bit, not enough to be like, ew, Rob Lowe's disgusting.
Yeah, he did not look like that meme of that cat who goes, I threw up. It's got like shit all over
You're
its
still
face.
just like, oh, handsome Rob Lowe went through something, but he's still smiling.
I would dab it with a hanky
Yeah, me too.
for him.
I wouldn't be afraid.
Let me get that for you, Mr. Lowe. He looks very together all the time,
Yeah.
even when puking, and even when going like,
it was so fast.
it's gonna happen again. He like puked twice.
With like good posture.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
There's something about that
It's
as well.
crazy.
The rigid spine.
Yeah.
The fortitude.
Yes. This is a strong guy. I'm jumping ahead to the Bigfoot thing, but like, I'll just touch on it and we'll go back to it later. But like, they're driving through these crazy conditions. And I was like, this is too scary.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what adventure? And I was like, whoa.
Yes, I think it's risk. I want to like protect him a little bit because it's like when somebody can't feel pain.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, well, don't touch that hot stove though.
Right, no,
like just because you can't
I know you're
feel it.
enjoying everything and it's cool, but it's also a little dangerous.
It's a little dangerous. So you should be a little
Yeah.
more careful than this. But he's just kind of. Do you think it's because the camera's on, or do you think there's a
don't
quality
know.
to him that's always like this?
I don't know. I really don't know a ton about him. So
Because you
I
can't
don't know.
ignore the fact that this is being filmed. So
course.
some element of poise. But when you're puking, like you could just be like, cut that out.
The kids aren't really acting like this is weird. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's
so
true.
It makes me kind of think maybe he's like this.
It's just this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, when people, I don't know. I feel like they might be a little bit more like, all right, Dad, like enough. You're like putting it on. But they
Right.
seem to just be, they all feel very
They
natural.
just accept that this is
yeah.
not artifice. And they
Yeah.
call it out when it does seem
Yes,
when he's
yeah,
like,
that's the
quit
thing.
posing, Dad.
Yeah.
Which also indicates that all this other stuff is the
Right.
real McCoy, the actual Rob Lowe.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
that's
I don't know.
interesting.
Well, they get it. I thought they got in some sort of a submersible because they are sort of all contained
Unless
in a
I'm
tight
wrong.
room. No, I think you are 1,000%
Yeah.
right. It just makes it so much less impressive.
Right.
They're in like a tight room to stare at cameras because they do have this thing that could a little robot
Yeah.
that they can send down a good few hundred feet to get to the flat topped anomaly
Yeah.
thing, the oval anomaly. And I watched this episode twice because the first time I watched it, I was like, well, nothing happened there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't just say nothing happened. I gotta, let's get it together,
There's still
Will.
stuff to.
I watched it again and I did get a little more out of it the second time. The camera thing goes down and the top of that flat structure
Yeah.
really is very flat.
I know. No, it's real. It's a surprising looking thing.
Things have accumulated on it.
Yes.
Like it is beige from
Yeah.
the camera footage. I mean, I don't know how color corrected the camera is or whatever, but like you just see a flat surface with certainly like accumulated pebbles and stuff on it,
Right.
but it's not as if you see like the typical ocean
doesn't look
floor
like it's
type
coral
vibe. Yeah, it
or
doesn't look like
whatever.
coral.
And
it doesn't look like sand and dust and whatever. It looks like pebbles on top of a flat thing, just stretching off into a little bit, and then it's just darkness beyond that because the
Yeah.
ocean is like pitch black.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
They have this lady from MUFON with them.
Yes.
And she says, I mean, they're kind of collaborating with like the ship captain or whatever, but she's the one who ends up saying like, we're looking for anything that has a 90-degree angle because 90-degree angles like that don't occur in nature.
Right.
I was like, okay, interesting. And this does have, a worn, but 90-degree angle. It's flat and then drops.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, her name was Chase.
Yeah.
Uh,
Meridian.
Dr. Chase Meridian.
If only. Can you imagine?
Yes. Rob Lowe could have been Batman.
Yeah, he could have been
Right.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Lowe describes this like surface. He's like, it's like looking at the moon, and it is. It
Yeah,
like it
is,
looks,
like cratered.
and then they even see like a crab walking along it, and I think it's Matthew. He goes,
Yeah.
"That's the real aliens, man. Aliens
Yeah.
of the deep."
Yeah.
So they're looking like a crab and an eel, and it's
Yeah.
like that is the
Oh, they're
real,
freaky.
actual truth.
Yes, they're freaky. And the MUFON lady says that space is more well researched than the ocean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you can't get down that deep.
Yeah.
Think about the Titanic submarine people who just
Freaky.
combusted, just
Yeah.
poofed into nothingness.
Yeah.
Did you
Well,
see recently that there was new footage of the submersible thing?
No, I saw that there's gonna be a documentary coming out.
Oh, there's gonna be all kinds of stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But somebody released real footage
Mm-hmm.
of the wife of one of the people that was in the submarine.
Yeah.
She's like sitting at like a monitor, kind of like how we're sitting right now, like our monitors in front of us and stuff. And they're listening, and then you basically just hear like and she goes, "Huh, what was that?"
Oh yes, I did read about this.
And that just sharp
Yeah.
1 millisecond noise was the submersible imploding. And people always say, like, before the signal can even reach anyone's brain that something was wrong, they were dead.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, the further down you go, like, it's crazy that, like, I guess space is all uniform pressure.
Right.
So, like, if you fly, I mean, we're bound by how far we can fly, I take it, into outer space. We haven't gone beyond, a human hasn't gone beyond, like, the moon, I don't think. I mean, we've sent something to Mars, like the Mars rover or whatever.
Right.
But I think, like, the pressure on different planets is one thing. But, like, if you're just going out into outer space,
right,
it seems like if you had enough energy, you could just keep going and the pressure would never intensify.
Right.
The atmospheric, because there is no atmosphere.
Right.
But going down into the ocean, it gets more and more dangerous the further you go, and harder to withstand all the atmospheric pressure of the water the deeper you go. So we have not explored diddly squat.
It makes sense. I hadn't thought about it that way because in my mind, I'm like, well, it's closer to us. It's on our planet. So,
I know.
But yeah, that makes absolute sense that we haven't because of those reasons.
There's all kinds of stuff down there. There are ships down there. There are planes down there. There are people down there. There may be creatures we've never seen before down there.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Ay.
I know. It's wild. Here's something that I think about occasionally. Every Star Wars movie, you know how, like, Star Wars has, like, every planet has its own sort of, like, a singular ecosystem, like Tatooine is all a sand planet and Hoth is all icy.
Yeah.
I know this sounds super simple to a stupid degree, but it's like to film all these, like, vastly different alien worlds, so much so that it's justified, 10 movies and however many shows of spectacle, different types of places, all that shit is filmed on Earth because all those conditions exist here on Earth somewhere.
Right.
Anyway, I know that's a super basic point to make, but, like, the planet is so diverse.
Oh, yeah.
And full of so many climates that you can convincingly create a world of aliens living on different types of different conditions, climates of our planet.
Yes, that's crazy. I find it amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I get, I'm easily amazed.
Yes.
But still, it's very cool.
So am I. Hey, listen, it is nature is magical.
It is.
Having said that, I don't get much of anything from the remainder of this episode.
There's really not a lot to it. I think that that Rob Lowe may be kind of feeling the same. He sees, so the ship guy, who is obviously an expert in all things.
Mr. Boat.
Yeah, Mr. Bodie. He kind of comes to the conclusion that what they're looking at is natural, even though it's got that 90-degree angle thing. I'm not sure how accurate that is, by the way, that, like, things with 90-degree angles don't exist in nature. I don't think that that's true, but whatever.
It doesn't feel like a thing you could make a hard claim about.
I don't think so either. He says that it seems to be a natural rock slide, what they're looking at. And so I think that Rob Lowe is kind of like, okay, but I want to put some sort of, like, I got to put some sort of, like, button on this thing. And he's kind of undeterred. And he's like, well, yeah, but if there was something like this existing, which is so weird, why wouldn't they explore it, be that, and use it, be that government or alien? So that still doesn't discount that this is something weird. And it's like, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Sure,
okay.
sure.
This is where it's like, from the standpoint of producing a TV show.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think he was aware that they got nothing.
Right.
And so you've got to try to find your way to spin it and at least turn it into an open-ended mystery.
I totally get that. And not go like, well, okay, this was a bust.
Yeah.
Matthew and John Owen, let's go home and enjoy the company we keep.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, still not quite right.
Yeah, totally. You know what? There is one moment the camera kind of glitches for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And Chase Klotsky, Chase Meridian, from MUFON, says, that is a common reported side effect. Anything mechanical just stalls down, goes away. Not saying it's aliens, but
right.
And so it's like, it's weird. Isn't it weird that ghosts and aliens have the same sort of like, oh no, technology glitched out for a moment.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
It had to be a ghost and or alien.
Right. Just anything weird.
Anything weird. It couldn't just be a glitch.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was funny.
I did write down Rob Lowe's final word, his, like, Jerry Springer's final thoughts on the episode. He goes, because they, at a certain point, the Mr. Boat captain goes, I hate to be a party pooper.
Yeah.
But this is funny, the phrasing, he was like, given the schedule that we have to keep,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to have to bring it back up.
Yeah.
And that was 1,000% code for like, you're not paying us to keep going, and we're not finding anything
until we find something.
Yeah. And you've spent all the money that you gave to me to rent my boat.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we got to wrap this up because I have other jobs I have to get to.
Yes, given the schedule that we determined for our voyage. You know, like
right.
Like you didn't.
I forgot to mention
your meter ran out. The meter,
basically. That happened right when they dropped the camera that I thought was funny. And I was wondering if Rob Lowe was still feeling a little bit sick and was like phoning it in for a minute. When they dropped the camera down there, John Owen goes, "Release the beast." And then like Rob Lowe with just a blank face goes, "Release the beast," just right after him. And I was like, I wonder if he's still not feeling good.
He just said the same thing.
He's just phoning it in. He's like, I got to do something, but I'm going to puke.
Release the beast.
Yeah. He's like, "Release the beast."
Release the beast.
It's really funny.
Whatever you got to do.
Barely holding it together.
Whatever you got to do to get by.
Absolutely. You know? I thought it was funny. I just wanted to sneak that in before we get the final word.
So here's what he said to try to wrap it up. "I was a young boy when I first heard the legend of Malibu's underwater anomaly, and I never imagined I would someday explore it with boys of my own. And now we know. It's not man-made. But it does match the bizarre images from Google Earth. And despite the seasickness, it was an unforgettable adventure. And the best part of it all was the company." Like, at least they have enough of a hook that, like, if they don't get jack shit.
Yeah, which I think is probably a pretty frequent result.
They can go kind of like heartwarming, which is the right vibe.
Absolutely.
It was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Maybe not my favorite episode, admittedly, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Yeah, heartwarming is the main appeal. There are a million shows that do things like this.
Yeah.
They may not have the pull and resources of a Rob Lowe.
Right.
But we're really here in this one for the Rob Lowe and John Owen and Matthew of it all.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Kristen,
and of course,
exactly.
a little Shaman John here and there.
Well, not in this
Not
one.
this time.
Oh, we do get a new Shaman John in the next episode.
With quite a name.
A replacement Shaman John.
Matthew
comes.
Moneymaker?
Matthew Moneymaker.
Or maybe just Matt?
I have
sure.
a lot to say about Matthew Moneymaker.
Whew. All right, so we are going to get to that episode all about Bigfoot after we tell you about patreon.com/GTTUpod. This is where you can go to support the show and you can get a ton of stuff in return. We actually have a whole second weekly podcast called The Netherworld Dispatch that comes out every Monday. You can also join our Discord. You get movie commentaries, ad-free Guide to the Unknown, just regular style. All kinds of stuff if you go over to Patreon. So please do, and thank you so much to everybody else who already supports us over there. This is our small biz.
It's true.
And thank you very much.
It's just a teeny tiny little biz.
It's just us two.
The most recent episode of the Netherworld Dispatch is Crime Bitches.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Crime Bitches.
Oh yeah, that's the
A long time ago, Kristen, Allie, and myself, we were commissioned to create a true crime podcast. Jokingly amongst ourselves, we said that the greatest possible name would be Crime Bitches.
Right.
And the tagline, I thought, was, "Welcome to Crime Bitches, where we talk about crime, bitches."
Yep.
And we have not done anything with it in years and years and years and years and years. But Kristen, you had a couple of interesting cases that you have been, I guess, fascinated by.
Yeah.
And you wanted to introduce me to them.
That's right. I told Will about the Karen Reed trial that's going on right now and the Idaho 4 murder case that will be going to trial later this summer.
Yes. So like the Lowe boys, we may not be professionals in this particular field.
Oh, certainly not.
But it is a fascinating topic, if admittedly a morbid one. So go check that out, everybody, if you enjoy it. We talk about true crime in this episode, which is not a common occurrence for us. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So go check that out. That's on patreon.com/GTTUpod right this second, waiting for you. We also enjoy reading reviews on our show. I've got a delightful one here from Mysteries and True Crime titled, "Love This Podcast."
Ooh.
Laugh out loud funny. Brother and sister team are informative and hilarious. I'm not even a horror fan, but I love listening to them talk about anything. They have a wide range of topics. They are both natural storytellers and crack each other up in the most endearing way. Please never stop the show. You both get You both get through every day when I need an escape from reality.
Awesome.
5 stars.
Thank you so much. That is so nice.
You can take
What a
the red
wonderful
pill
review.
or the green pill to escape your reality
Which one do you want?
with us.
Take the green pill.
That's right.
Guide the unknown green.
Hell yeah. Or the purple pill. Another World Dispatch.
true.
Get
Yeah.
purple pilled.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank
Mysteries
you.
and
That's
true
really
crime.
nice. That's really nice. I also love mysteries and true crime. So I'm a.
Actually, yeah, there you go.
I'm your kin.
Again, I did not plan this review to be paired with this topic.
Oh, I
But
thought you
mysteries
did. That
and
worked out.
true crime. We talked about true crime on Patreon. I didn't. No, I just go sequentially.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you enjoy the show as well, I would love it. We would love it if you would consider leaving a review for us. You can go to Apple Podcasts where you can type out a review like this, and I may read it on a future episode of the show. You can leave us stars on Spotify. You can open your window and shout it to a neighbor.
That would be great.
That would be lovely.
Highly encouraged. But yeah, thank you so much to everybody who has done that. And if you haven't done it yet, we would love it if you did.
You can go to the Apple Store and on all the demo iPads
yeah.
and stuff, you can open the podcast app and just open it to Guide to the Unknown.
I think that's a great idea.
Right?
It's an act of service, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An act of service to us.
That's right.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
so we're going to be back to talk about the Lowe Files Bigfoot episode after this commercial break. All right, let's get cooking.
Yeah, you want to talk about Sasquatch?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Sasquatch.
That's how Rob Lowe pronounced Sasquatch to begin with. I do think he ended up dropping that.
I think
I'm not sure he said Sasquatch again.
he definitely accidentally pronounced it Sasquatch.
Really? I'm not sure.
Because there's footage of him. This is the cute one where it's
Yeah.
like, even in the opening of the show, there's like footage of him with Matthew and John Owen as children going
Yeah.
on some sort of a camping trip, and they're talking about Sasquatch.
Right.
And he says the
Oh,
words.
he says Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
Okay.
I think he just flubbed.
Okay.
He said
I
Sasquatch.
wasn't sure. The other thing
But in
that's
true
weird-
family style, his
Yeah.
sons are like, Sasquatch? What are you, an idiot? What do you suck? What are you, more sauce? What, like sauce like you'd put on a sandwich?
Yeah,
Sauce? You
that-
idiot?
That was not a great like way to get him back. I was like, well, now you sound like a dork. You keep being like sauce like ketchup. I was like, all right, John Owen, quit while you're ahead.
We got it, John Owen.
But
Hey, down boy.
no, the other thing about Rob Lowe is he's kind of a dork. So I
Yeah.
was like, I think it was
Sasquatch.
believable to me that he says Sasquatch.
I totally agree, but I'm just going by
No, I
the
guess you're
evidence. I
right.
think he just flubbed it.
Okay.
He also tells a story. I guess Sasquatch is a figure that's kind of like a personal curiosity to all of them.
Yeah.
For years it seems.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
believed this because they have that footage of them going camping and stuff. And on the trip, there's a story of Rob Lowe. I guess he snuck. He says he hid a Bigfoot costume. This is
Yeah.
so
I know.
like weird. This verifies at least.
Yeah.
That they have a genuine interest in this stuff going
Yes.
back, I think. And it's such a weird story. So he dressed like Bigfoot on a camping trip to surprise the kids.
Right.
John Owen ran away, but according to Rob Lowe,
Right.
Matthew kicked him in the balls
Yes.
and said, "Get out of here, you college student."
Yeah. Yeah. He thought they were just like roving bands of college students who were playing pranks.
Get out of
in the
here, you
area.
college
I
student.
know. I know. Look, kids are dorks.
But is that like some sort of like a Scooby-Doo-ism? Like the people who would do this are, big kids who would try to
Yeah, no, I think it is.
taunt
It's-
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So strange.
No, I know. I think it's just weird little kid brain.
So Rob Lowe says, well, I don't know if I should even get into this yet.
What?
Well, now I have to.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe says, he's like, do you think Bigfoot could be real? John Owen instantly is like, no. And he
Right.
goes, but there are sightings all the time. And this was fun. He goes, there are sightings all the time. John Owen goes, no, there are not. There's that one video from the 70s, like the Patterson-Gimlin
Yeah.
footage, and nothing else.
Yeah.
But then Rob Lowe goes, that's not true. He says, there's that famous YouTube video of Bigfoot sleeping.
Yeah, that's right.
So then I'm like, I got to find this YouTube video of Bigfoot sleeping.
Yeah.
I could not find whatever Rob Lowe said he saw
Yes. Same.
in 2017.
Yeah.
I found something else.
Oh, okay.
I found a clip from a show called Finding Bigfoot,
Okay.
on which I guess this show is 4 guys that try to find Bigfoot, and a recurring segment is they'll go they travel to all these different states, all these different towns, and they'll eventually hold a town hall meeting kind of thing where they invite people to share their encounters with Bigfoot.
That's cool.
And so they are featuring a guy who says that he saw a baby Bigfoot sleeping. That's why it came up in my search.
Yeah.
But the real standout thing, so the guy's like, it wasn't a bear because it also looked like it had like a protruding lip thing, whatever it is. Like it looked like a gorilla and a bear.
Yeah.
AKA Bigfoot. And he goes, and then one of the 4 hosts just dryly goes, dude, you must have been crapping your pants. Dude, you must have been crapping your pants when this was happening. And he's not laughing. He doesn't, there's nothing. And then they just cut to reactions in the room, and one of them is an old lady who like, like kind of
In front of an old lady.
isn't loving it, you know?
What the hell?
So I guess Rob Lowe's right. It is still happening. There's still sightings going on out there.
Happening.
It's still happening. It happened.
You talking like that?
Dude, you must have been crapping your pants when that was happening. We saw a baby animal sleeping. Yeah, I was crapping my pants the whole time.
Oh, that's so funny.
Standing there watching it. I did also look up recent sightings. Maybe we'll get to that later if there's any interest.
Sure. They do that stopping for food thing. We already talked about it, but something I wanted to mention, I don't know if you can tell me if this is a thing or not that I missed in maybe the second episode. I don't know. In one of the other episodes, he says he can't pay, and he's explaining that he's an actor. He left his wallet in his other pants or whatever. And
you're asking me if I, as an actor, have experienced this.
That's exactly what I'm asking. So he asks Matthew if he can pay for the McDonald's. Again, did this happen in the first episode too? Like, is this going to be like a recurring bit that Rob never pays?
I think so, because one of them, he goes, all my money goes to college tuitions. Is his sort of joke.
Did he not pay at the donut place?
I don't think yeah, in episode 1, that I don't know. I don't remember that.
Okay. Huh. All right. So this is something to keep an eye on in the next one. I wonder if, because everything, I don't like it if so, actually, because everything else feels pretty authentic. And then this would be a planted bit, unless it is actually just true that he never pays, which I don't buy.
I bet he's being annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Remember, all of this is his money.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Remember that his college-age sons, this is all still Rob Lowe's money, even if he's asking Matthew to pay right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Everyone's fine. I think he's being...
I just have to pick up the... I don't even know this.
Yeah.
This could be a moot point. If it happens in the next episode, I just want to pick up the vibe, now that I've noticed it this one time, whether it is him doing dad jokes, so to speak,
right,
or if it's supposed to be that we are believing he keeps forgetting of his wallet. If we're supposed to believe, I don't really care for that. If it's just him being a dork, then fine.
I think it's him being a dork. That was my read of the situation. But I'm down to do a Rob Lowe pay check.
Yeah. Ooh,
right?
I'd be down for a Rob Lowe paycheck, certainly.
He hosts a game show now.
Yeah.
He hosts The Floor.
Yes, that's
on
right.
some network.
Yeah, it's on Fox. Susan's brother-in-law was on it.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Is he Dante from Clerks?
Yeah.
Oh, because he was on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
There you go.
No, but he was on it. I can't remember how well he did.
Interesting.
But yeah.
I saw Dante win like $30,000 or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ira Madison III was on it too. A writer who I really like. He did well.
Why are you not on game shows? Haven't you tried to get on many game shows?
I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune pretty hard, but it didn't take.
I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune. Pretty hard. It's a pretty hard show.
Yeah. But I should try again.
I would love to see you on a game show.
I did try to get on Pop Culture Jeopardy, but that was
with Colin Jost.
Yeah. But it was a slaughter because it was a team.
You Jost missed it.
I did. It was a team. I killed the pre-screening interview.
I remember this.
My teammates did not do well, sadly.
Yeah, for some reason, I was not invited.
Well, I was invited by other people.
Now I recall.
I was invited by other people to join their team.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, sounds great. I will strategize differently in the future. Even though I had faith in my teammates, I'm sure, tests are different for everybody. I don't know for sure, but I was bing, 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 and banging all the way through.
Like
and
Trump?
Then,
Bing, 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 bing. That was you? Canceled. Canceled.
oh no.
Bing, 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 bing. They're like,
forgot.
we can't have this lady on TV.
But no, I
Bing,
was
bong.
killing it. I was like, oh my God, I think I could be really good at this. And then in the group chat, my other teammates were like, that was so hard. I think I totally biffed it. And I was like, damn it.
Biffed it. Question 3 was the answer was Biff. Oh, damn it. All right.
But I'll take another crack. All right. So they go to this Bigfoot museum in Willow Creek in California. And Rob said this little thing that I found was so adorable. They're just like looking through all the Bigfoot stuff. They're like casts of like Bigfoot feet and everything. And there are a bunch of different Bigfoot books in like a case.
Yep.
And he sees this book that he had when he was a kid and he really liked. And John Owen sees this book. He's like, oh, Matthew, that's the one that we took out that, was really good. That's literally the book that we took out. And Rob goes, wow, there's a book that I loved and the book that you loved in the same place. That is cool.
I know.
He just loves them.
It's really
very
endearing.
cute.
This entire show thrives on the vibe of just like the sweetness of all of this.
Yes.
Is a damn fact.
Yeah.
It's not remarkable to find the Bigfoot
No.
book that you guys all liked at the Bigfoot store.
Right.
Like whatever this place was.
There are two Bigfoot books together in
Yeah.
the same case. That
Right.
makes sense. But he's like, wow.
Yep. I know.
It's just cute. He just really loves them
He's like
so much.
dazzled by life. As they're walking around there, by the way, he sees a photo of what looks like almost like a cowboy looking guy
Yeah.
posing next to a Bigfoot
Yeah.
foot cast. And Rob Lowe's joke is, Bigfoot, I can't quit you. Which I'm pretty sure is a Brokeback Mountain reference.
It is.
So he was insinuating that man wanted to have relations with Bigfoot.
Yes.
I don't know if you realized that.
And also, it's a misquote. It's, I wish I knew.
I wish I knew how to quit you. Bigfoot, I can't quit you.
Which I love. I love when people get it a little wrong. That's so
It's
funny.
a touch wrong.
Yeah.
This man wants to fornicate with Bigfoot.
He takes a vacation to the mountains with Bigfoot every year. Oh God. So they go through there, then they leave and they talk to Marion and Manuel, who are two Hoopa natives, because they're going to the Hoopa Reserve, which is supposed to be like major Bigfoot country.
They call it Bigfoot Alley, Chrissy.
Yep. Bigfoot Alley. To just kind of get their like read on the situation. Marion tells Rob that Bigfoot has called him there.
This was a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Why? One of my issues with this episode is going to be, why didn't you bring these people with you
I was thinking
on the adventure?
same.
They just have like a 5-minute. This
they
is also
seem
what I
like
meant about these
experts.
episodes being too fleet of foot.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, you guys orchestrated this whole thing where you're going here, you're going there, you got to schedule time to meet with these people at this location for a 3-minute conversation and we'll never see them again.
I know. I thought these guys were really interesting.
They were
and then
interesting.
they're just like gone.
He goes, you were blessed by him. It's talking about Bigfoot.
Yes.
You were blessed by him. He brought you here to see this place. He called you when you were 8 years old.
Right. Because
And Rob Lowe's just smiling.
Yes. Because Rob Lowe tells him he's been interested in Bigfoot since he was 8 and like always wanted to find him. And because of that, he's like, well, yeah, he called to you. That's why you were interested in him. Like, that's an interesting concept. He just talks about like kind of, the spirituality that is connected to the idea of Bigfoot.
Right.
And Rob and the boys are just like, yes, very good. They seem interested and into it.
Yeah.
But then we're jetting away to meet Matt Moneymaker.
I don't really understand why, especially because this Marion said when I was 7 years old, it tried to touch me. It reached through the window and tried to touch me.
Yes.
And then his dad ran out because he screamed. Because he was 7 and he saw a Sasquatch reaching through his window. A Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And then his dad ran off outside with a gun. Like it was a wild animal.
Yeah.
And Bigfoot ran away and jumped across the creek and ran up into the mountains. It's like, can we ask some follow-up questions about that? No,
Totally.
we've got to
This is-
move on.
Yeah, because it sounds like these people are saying that they've like lived among Bigfoot
Yeah.
on the reservation for like their lives.
Yeah. But no, they realized we don't have time for this. We got to bring in the moneymaker.
Absolutely. We meet up with Matt.
Moneymaker.
Yeah. So they said that he's
a real Shaman John situation.
Absolutely. A hop skip and a. They say he's the planet's biggest Bigfoot expert. I mean, I don't know.
I think he is.
Okay.
I have information about Matt Moneymaker.
Okay, great.
When I referenced that show earlier,
Oh,
you must have been
Finding
crapping your
Bigfoot?
pants the whole time.
Was it Matt Moneymaker?
That was not Matt Moneymaker.
Oh,
that
okay.
was his
Thought you were
friend.
setting me up.
That was his friend Bobo. He was standing next to him in that clip. He is one of the hosts of Finding Bigfoot, Matt Moneymaker.
My eyes are as big as saucers. Was his hair the same?
I think possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. He had like he like sort of has aged into his longer hair, bigger beard look across 6 seasons.
He has long, like strawberry blonde hair. I was really looking at that hair. I was trying to figure if this is highlights. Is it natural? What's going on? Seriously, I usually can
He's
tell.
very TV ready.
I think it's colored.
He's
anyway.
very, very TV ready.
Yeah.
Finding Bigfoot aired from 2011 to 2018. They produced 100 total episodes of
Nice.
trying to find Bigfoot. And if you look up online anything about finding Bigfoot, it almost always starts with, despite never having found any conclusive evidence, Finding Bigfoot aired for 100 episodes.
Well, there's another that show that
Zach Bagans at least looks for different ghosts with different stories.
that's totally true.
Finding Bigfoot is you're just trying to find the one Bigfoot. I do
don't
understand
think
that
so. I
as the
think
show
it's-
went on, they
yeah.
did work in like a couple other cryptids, but it was still like the Yeti,
Yeah.
the Hoppit Kong monster, let's say, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the vast majority of it was Bigfoot.
Right.
And I went ahead. I wanted to
Well, I think
see
they're looking for the species, right? Not just like one Bigfoot.
right, but they never found
I know.
anything, which is like, well, then maybe your methods never worked.
Well, what I was going to say is like, I assume, I don't know if they said this or not, but that he would have a specialized Bigfoot call that calls to the Bigfoot. It sounded like almost exactly like whatever the other guys were doing. It's just like a whoop,
Oh,
Big
time.
I mean, maybe he has more projection, but
It was like,
it's,
oh,
yeah, it doesn't,
ah.
it wasn't like, whoa, that's a crazy sound this man is making.
Nope.
It's just kind of like, I don't know, just make a whoop sound.
Make a whoop sound.
Yeah.
However, did you notice the poise with which Mr. Moneymaker made the sound? He
Yeah.
physically
Yes.
performed as if he were like he was really like funneling.
You gotta send that thing up from the diaphragm.
Yeah, he
and
was
you gotta
like-
get into position.
Blasting it out of the hole in his face.
Absolutely, you gotta plant those feet.
I
Yeah, yeah.
do you believe in any of this?
In what? Like, do I think Bigfoot exists?
I guess that, yeah, sure. We'll start there.
I think it's. I don't know. I do still kind of think it's possible, to be totally honest.
Do you think it's more
I think that
likely?
there are some places that are so insanely dense that maybe
Yeah, like your
there's-
head.
William, that maybe there's something hiding. I don't know, but
Something
it is,
hiding. Why would it?
or not even hiding, but that.
Yeah, but why would it?
No, I don't know. Maybe everybody's up its ass, whooping at it.
Oh, well, that was my thing. I'm like, how's that going to help?
I know.
Like,
Well,
aren't
'cause
you alerting
they-
it to your presence?
I think that he thinks that it's gonna want to call back. Or
You've
whatever. I
tried
don't
this
know
for
why.
100 episodes,
Well, I
Mr.
wanted to say,
Moneymaker,
there's
without ever finding it.
There's another show that I believe is ongoing called Expedition Bigfoot.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I kept accidentally finding that when
Yes.
I was searching for this
Yes.
other one because there are 2 long-running shows just looking for this one
Right.
creature.
Right.
I
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not.
I don't know, man.
I
I mean, I do
strong.
know. I know how I feel.
Yeah. Don't believe.
I do not believe
Yeah.
in Bigfoot.
Yeah. I guess when it comes down to it, if I really had to choose, I guess I would say no. I want to believe.
Were I to go on a Bigfoot hunt,
Yeah.
I would feel very vulnerable and worried, and that's because of the forest and other
yeah.
animals,
Yeah.
not because of Bigfoot.
No.
I believe people have maybe seen animals that they misconstrued
Mm-hmm.
as something else. I believe that the forest can sort of play tricks on you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that expectation is a hell of a thing. And if you go into the woods looking for Bigfoot, I bet you can find it because your mind is playing tricks on you.
I was surprised there was a wild cow in there.
Yeah, they were like, oh, it was probably a cow calling back. A cow?
There's a cow just wandering around in the wood?
What are you talking about?
I'm surprised.
But now, Matthew Moneymaker.
Yeah.
I believe he believes.
Yeah.
You know, there's that Zach Bagans-y. No, I'm telling you, I got something.
You know more than I do. Yeah.
I found something.
Yeah.
I found something. But I think that he knows how to be on TV. That I think that's darn tootin'.
Yeah.
And for darn sure. When they finally meet Matt Moneymaker on a bridge, they're like, you know, Rob Lowe's like, Mr. Moneymaker. And he goes, Mr. Lowe, it's good to meet you.
Yeah.
And these are the boys. He says like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
oof. Woof.
Yeah.
Let's go back to one. New take.
Yeah, it's a weird energy.
Too familiar, too
Well,
like acting like you're an old
formal.
friend or something.
I don't know. I thought it was like weirdly formal.
And
like
these must be the boys.
Yeah, can you imagine meeting him and you're a young kid and you're just like, ew.
Oh, I would totally be like, ew. Yeah,
Turned
absolutely. It's very uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
And
Now
yeah.
they get in the car.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something where they're already in the car or first?
No. You go.
style? I pointed a finger. Did you notice them snacking in the car?
No.
Okay, they're all eating something in a red wrapper. I think it might be Kit Kats.
Okay.
Where'd they come from? Did Matt Moneymaker bring them to endear everybody to him?
I understand your boys have a bit of a sweet tooth.
Did he bring...
How'd you like a chocolatey bar, young fella? Talking to a 19-year-old. This is called a wafer.
He
A chocolate candy bar.
and the boys in the back are both eating them. I don't see Rob with one.
Wait, Moneymaker's eating candy with
Yes.
John Owen?
Yes.
In the back? They just met?
No, yeah, well, no. I mean, Matt Moneymaker's in the front. Matthew Lowe has now been usurped. By the way,
yes, right.
this has been a running thing these last two episodes. Matthew is always in the front. John Owen is in the back. He wants to be able to sit in the front, but Matthew is like, I get car sick, and also I'm the oldest, so I should sit in the front. And they say it's been established. It's been established. So I noticed that they didn't put Matt Moneymaker in the back.
Right, yeah.
So I wonder if Matthew is feeling car sick back there. But anyway, they're all snacking on a chocolate thingy in a red wrapper. I think it's a Kit Kat, and I think Matt Moneymaker brought them.
Interesting. I think you may be correct about that. Yep.
And I think Rob said no thank you.
All right, now bring out the bait.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's favorite snack. This will lure him out for sure. You ate it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I here's something that I did.
They get out and they start whooping.
All they do for the rest of the episode is whoop in the dark and nothing
Matthew
happens.
Lowe is really into it, which is fun.
Yeah.
He's just like very involved. He keeps saying stuff like, I'm out here as long as I can be.
Yeah.
Like he's like really involved.
That is true. I appreciate that. Well, he's
Yeah.
also a fisherman, we now know.
That's right. He's an outdoorsman.
So
John Owen is a little bit like, I don't know about this.
I know. So I was curious about like, because yeah, to me, Patterson Gimlin, that's like the one thing, and it was just like a fun tape of a Sasquatch man, and then it was basically proven that it was all fake. But I was like, well, let's see.
Sure.
Let's see the recent Bigfoot sightings, and I found a website that documents recent Bigfoot sightings. Chrissy, this is the BFRO, the Bigfoot Field Researches Organization. I have for
Researches organization.
a researchers organization.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization.
Okay.
I have a Class A sighting.
Oh my God.
I know. This
Hell
is
yeah.
huge. This is case number 7863 or 1 or 9 or T poop purper.
T-bone.
All right. Father and son fishermen have close encounter with a Bigfoot halfway between Toledo and Detroit.
Okay.
All right. Because Bigfoot can be anywhere. It's not just a Pacific Northwest thing.
Yep.
So here is the actual sighting that was sent in. I was bow fishing today with my son around 11:30 a.m. We walked down Plum Creek, past 4 bridges, and headed into the marsh. Yada, yada, yada. We're going to move ahead. I heard a rustling in a tree to the left and a huge thud hitting the ground from the tree. A big, heavy animal hit the ground and crouched and started moving toward me through brush. My dog fired off from the right of me toward the creature. The dog almost got to it, but the creature shot off extremely fast through trees and brush. The dog chased the creature up the slope and over the train tracks. I then called for my dog to come back. My son said, "Holy shit, what was that?" It was as big as a bear, but it looked like a gorilla. We walked back, but we heard something crunching on the ground behind us. We left. Follow-up investigation report from BFRO investigator Matthew Moneymaker.
Hell yeah, there he is.
This is his website.
Oh, okay, cool.
He is the director of the BFRO.
Nice.
This report is from within a week of us recording right now. His show's been off the air for years.
Yeah.
He still is
He's the
just
real
doing
deal.
Bigfoot research.
Yeah.
I think he knows how to present himself on television to try to create the most compelling,
Yeah.
persona
Yeah.
for himself. But he is just doing this stuff.
Yeah.
He says, I spoke with Edward and his 12-year-old son by phone separately. Both are credible and freshly descriptive about what happened to them this morning. I asked many questions about what they saw, what the animal did. I asked enough to discern that it was not a bear. It was a large, dark, furred primate that ran up a slope on two legs, looking like a gorilla from behind. Yes, that would be a Bigfoot. That's what it says. And, the report sort of just goes on, but it's just like, it's interesting to see, like, this is a live website
Yeah.
with
That's cool.
active reporting on Bigfoot sightings and personal investigations from Matthew Moneymaker.
That's awesome.
And that's who they got for this show. So quite frankly, it does seem to me that they did manage to land a substantial expert in the field of Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah.
But it still
cool.
amounts to a bunch of dudes in the woods going, "Oh, yup, yup," and then being like, "I think that was a cow." Like nothing happens.
Or a coyote.
Or a
There was a coyote that.
I did like the sound of the coyotes.
Yeah. I know.
Now I once had to go filming at like 2 a.m. at the Rutgers Ecological Preserve, and there was a bear.
Yeah.
A bear sighting had been reported, and we didn't know if the bear had been caught yet when we went out to film, but we had no choice. We had already paid the money to rent this place. It was like thousands of dollars.
Right.
And my idiot boss at the time, we heard like rustling, like through like a bush, like just off in the distance, and my boss just goes, "Oh, whoa,
What? I don't remember this.
hey!" And I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm scaring the bear." I was like, okay. I mean, listen, I didn't get eaten by a bear. Maybe he saved my life.
I will say.
Oh, yup. It doesn't make things want to come toward you is sort of my point. You know what I mean?
Yes. This actually just came up on Bitch Sesh, the Housewives podcast that I listened to. There's a bear near one of the co-hosts' houses. And she was saying that she'll come up and be like, "Hi, bear. Hello." Because you're supposed to kind of like let them know that you're human because they don't want to mess with humans. So talking to it is alerting them, I'm not animal, I am human.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
I suppose.
Totally. Listen,
But-
in the case of protecting me from a bear, I think my idiot boss was my hero that night. All right?
All right, I guess.
It was still
I
very-
guess I'll give him that one.
It was still pretty surprising.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because he
you must have
mostly-
been like,
He mostly spent the
my
night
God.
sitting in a golf cart watching
Yes.
us and then criticizing everything we did.
no, of course. So
Anyway.
nice of him to pipe up.
Thanks, boss.
For once.
Oh, whoa.
That's so
End of the
funny.
night. But
I had heard that.
for Matthew Moneymaker, I guess
Yeah.
this is supposed. What is this? A mating call? What is the Bigfoot doing? That it's like
I wonder if it is. Good point.
like 4 humans are now making this whooping noise intermittently.
Yeah, right. I
Should
wonder
I
if
be-
it is a meeting call. 'Cause
What's
why
going
would
on,
you
gang?
respond?
Bigfoot coming up a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you called me.
Me? Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I wonder. I wonder what he thinks about the whole the theory that Bigfoot could be from another dimension or Bigfoot being an alien. I wonder if
I
he's
know.
purely on the Bigfoot as bipedal animal, or could Bigfoot be some sort of like other thing?
That's a great question.
I wonder.
We
We can't
definitely
know.
know from the Hoopa tribe earlier that it all seemed to be very spiritual.
Yes.
Being like Bigfoot blessed you
Right.
at 8 years old. That's
Yeah.
why you're out here. Like that is clearly, obviously beyond the abilities of an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So that seemed to be depicting Bigfoot as some form of like spirituality,
Yep.
energy.
Potential astral being they might be more open to.
Yeah. The best we've got here from Matt Moneymaker, because Similar to going down to that underwater base. It's like when you realize you've got nothing, you got to start spinning. You got to start dancing to put a bow on this somehow.
Totally.
And Matt Moneymaker goes, we don't even want to talk about it because it sounds...
I know.
He goes, it sounds so folklorish, but you're out in the dark. You're making sounds like they are. And all of a sudden, you're looking off in the bushes. And what looks like amber-colored eyes. You're thinking you're looking at the devil. Mm-hmm. And then he finally goes, they're somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not here.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Can we leave then?
I guess we should.
Can we leave then,
Yeah,
sir?
back through the harrowing way we came.
So he thinks this thing's the devil?
I don't understand what his point was.
What's his perspective on this? I'm like, for as much time as he spends on this, it's not clear to me.
I'm not sure. I really am not sure whether he was saying those amber eyes, yada, yada, are the Bigfoot looking at him, or was he saying just other weird forest stuff?
Oh, I thought it had to be Bigfoot, right?
I'm not sure. No? I'm not sure.
Well, what the hell are you telling? Why are you telling me this?
I don't know. He was like, it's a, kind of getting into folklore kind of thing here. I don't know if he was just talking about weird things that could be happening in the forest.
I'm getting a little scared right now, Mr. Lowe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I scared myself.
I wasn't sure. I think he was talking about Bigfoot, but then part of me, as he was talking, I was like, is this just purely about Bigfoot's eyes, or is he saying just weird things of the forest?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to fill time.
Probably. He's probably trying to delay them getting back in that car and going back through the scary woods, branches coming into the Jeep as
that was cool.
Driving.
Rob Lowe backing up his truck and a branch is flapping in the open window.
And he's just fine.
He's
and
just
they
smiling.
had to drive over this bridge.
Yeah.
They don't know how far down it is on either side. The bridge is just barely wider than the car. That was scary to me.
Yeah. We went to Iceland. Ooh. And Allie was like, we're gonna climb up this mountain. But you have to do it with a car.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I was basically like resting on the backs of my seat.
Yeah.
The car was almost vertical. It was so scary.
Yeah.
And then we got up and there was just like a huge divot in the road. Like the road was just like completely broken apart and Allie had to do a K-turn on the side of a mountain with other potholes and stuff. I just remember, actually, you know what? I think I may have looked slightly Rob Lowish because I think I was like, well, the last thing I'm going to do right now is tell Allie anything negative about the decision to come up here. Yeah. That's just not going to be, that's not helpful at all.
Yes.
So I just kind of was like, we're going to be fine. Mm-hmm. I just kind of smiled the whole time. It's like in the face of, maybe we're going to fall in a pit hole and we're just going to live up here now.
Yeah, right.
But I was just like, there's no point in being a Debbie Downer up here.
Yeah,
it
totally.
won't help.
Yeah.
Also,
it's like me navigating the parking garage in Princeton on alumni weekend this past weekend.
Is that right?
We accidentally went to Princeton during alumni weekend, which is a huge mistake.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Have you been to the Pacific Northwest? Mm-hmm. Have you driven?
No.
We went to a wedding up in Fort Bragg. It's called. It was beautiful, but you had to get there. You had to drive through some mountain.
Yeah,
and so you had to drive up through like winding, like redwood looking trees.
Yeah,
and then down the other side. We saw a truck that had flipped over on its side. Because it was like the turns are so hairpin, and if you're going too fast, you're just gonna roll right over. Al did it one time. I did it the next time. And watching this, I was like, feels pretty much like what we did. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It was pretty white knuckles the whole time. The whole time. And it was probably a good 20 minutes to a half hour of pure white knuckle driving through windy trees. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But even in the passenger seat, you're just sort of like sitting there like clenched.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that kind of driving.
Oh, it was wild.
Yeah.
Man.
Ooh.
Anyway, here's Rob Lowe's final thought.
Yes.
Is it even possible for a hoax to last hundreds of years and cross so many cultures? But why don't we have better proof? The Lowe boys weren't going to solve these mysteries in one adventure, but we had a hell of a time trying.
Yeah.
The end.
And it's nice that we got to see them try.
And it does indicate like they had plans to do this again. I think later in the season they do find a skunk, or they go out trying to find the skunk ape.
I think you're right.
Which I guess is, you could call that the sort of like follow up to this, arguably.
Yeah.
But I think they were leaving every conceivable door open to continue doing this as long as they could, you know?
I guess so. I don't know why they didn't then. I don't know.
Well, because again, I get the whiff that no one really knew what to do with the show. They were like, let's make it short so it's just kind of pithy and fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not make much of a dent when you just sort of like turn it into like a mini M&M and just throw it down your gullet. All right, let's make it longer and try to let these things develop. Oh, still no one cares.
It's very odd.
They'll just stop making it.
I guess so. I'm really not sure, Will. I've researched this before. I didn't research it tonight or today or whatever. But I don't get the impression that it was like canceled. I kind of think they were just going to do one season. I don't think it's
I know, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, who knows?
I think it's just a weird anomaly, and I don't understand the varying lengths, though. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this, Chrissy.
Yeah.
I still greatly enjoyed myself.
Oh, as did I. I just want to leave us with something, what's going on in the news with Rob Lowe and son John.
Oh, okay.
As they're calling him, in Page 6 that was published yesterday.
Oh.
It was a slow news day yesterday, and so Page 6 reported that Rob Lowe, 61, and son John, 29, show off matching muscles in shirtless snap.
What does it mean?
Family tradition.
They have matching muscles?
I don't know.
Or they just they both have muscles.
And they took a picture in the gym, both kind of posing. And there is, the caption is jokey. Yeah, go ahead and take a look.
But whoa, I zoomed in and it zoomed in on a different picture. That was weird.
Oh yeah, I think it's a carousel or something.
Okay. Rob Lowe's looking pretty good.
Oh yeah.
He's looking pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, listen, way to go, Lowe boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
You're really doing it.
They're really out there doing it. So they said, it's a short article. The shameless thirst trap runs in the Lowe family, and thank God for that. Rob Lowe, 61, took to Instagram Tuesday to share a I don't like that they call it sizzling, by the way, when it's with his son, but whatever. Took to
the
Instagram.
shades of Brian Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, God. Took to Instagram Tuesday to share a sizzling snap he took with his son, Johnny Lowe, 29, following an apparent workout. The father-son duo flexed their muscles in what looked like an at-home gym as they flashed the camera intimidating faces. Not only did they match in their tan-toned physiques, but they also rocked singular chains around their necks. Scanning through ads, while a barefoot Rob put a massive right arm tattoo on display, his youngest child revealed a smaller one in the same spot. The actor wore gray workout shorts, while Johnny opted for light wash jeans. He completed his look with white sneakers, with pink shoelaces with a beige and red trucker hat. The messiness of the guy's brown, shaggy hair suggested that the picture was taken after they pumped iron. This whole thing suggests somebody needed to hit a minimum word count. In fact, they posed in front of racks of dumbbells for the photo op.
I thought the two biggest dumbbells are front and center.
Lowe family tradition, self-indulgent shirtless gym photos. Rob captioned the post, which garnered both praise and jokes.
Wow.
And then they go on to put in people's comments, being like, love that one, Rob. Good one, Johnny, or whatever. So that's what's going on.
Page 6 is just reporting on what celebrities post on Instagram?
Yeah, apparently.
That's pathetic.
Yeah, I know.
That's
rough.
pathetic.
Rough.
I mean, good for the Lowe boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where is Matthew?
I think he became a lawyer, if
I know. He's living off the grid.
Matthew Lowe.
I know.
Googling it right now.
I'm a little perturbed. I want to know what he's doing.
Getting actually kind of pissed right now.
Yeah, I'm a little pissed off.
No new news. It just he's
just living. He's just working.
He's just doing his thing.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. I mean, I wish he would live in the spotlight for my amusement.
I agree.
Get to the gym with his father and brother, and perhaps wear some form of khaki or maybe even gabardine. I don't know, some sort of a sports wear.
Yeah, some sort of slack.
That'd be nice. And I'd like somebody to describe it in excruciating detail.
I know. Isn't that a crazy
how he's
article?
Standing, how he's posed. The fascination.
I was like, what is this?
Dude, does that get clicks? Is that doing the
I can't imagine it's doing great numbers, but I don't know.
The whole thing is a waste.
I don't know how they measure. I could see maybe somebody clicking on it, but I can't imagine they're staying on it for very long. So I don't know.
Do you think that's AI at this point? Just being like, he is wearing, I
don't know.
He's wearing spandex. Where it's just
He wears spandex.
the boy wears spandex. He shows on bicep, same location as father.
I don't know.
Who knows? Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, they found Sasquatch and they found out there are aliens at the bottom of the bay.
Yeah, and that's
They
good
did
enough
it.
for
The
us.
Lowe boys did it.
They did.
Confirmed.
And we'll be back to talk about more episodes.
Hell yeah.
Of the Lowe Files because it kicks complete ass.
I just enjoy it and I don't care what anyone says.
No, same. We're gonna soldier forward no matter what. Honestly.
We bought the episodes.
Yeah, we had to.
We're not gonna not watch it now. Are you insane?
And also, it's great.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
Yep.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do care what you think, quite frankly.
Yes.
You can follow us online. We're at GTTUpod if you want to keep up to date with what we're doing. You can follow us individually.
Yep. I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
I'm at The Myth Traveler. If you enjoy the show and you'd like to support us, please cruise by patreon.com/GTTUpod. We even just recently have a newsletter out there, so you can take a peek at what's going on in our lives. I'm a brony now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Will became a brony,
I'm a
which is
brony.
nice.
That's kind of cool.
Yep. I'm working on my green thumb, so that's out there in the most recent newsletter.
A brown noser with a green thumb.
William!
Wow.
You can see a picture of my clematis, which is a plant.
You've been showing pictures of your clematis
not
on
a medical ailment
internet?
I'm dealing with.
Anyway, we'll be back next week. What are we going to talk about? We know. You're going to be surprised.
Oh my God.
Until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld go we. Whoa.
Back to the underwater trench.
That's right.
The mysterious basin.
I'll never go there. It's too deep.
Those are the real aliens, the aliens of the deep. Mm-hmm. I really do think that's true. I think that underwater animals are disgusting.
Yeah, I
Very
completely
frightening
agree.
looking.
No, when that crab crawled by, I was like, ugh.
I was like, we accept crabs
Yeah,
so readily.
right.
But if you just look at them, you look at how they move, you're like, that ain't right.
No, it ain't.
That ain't right.
No. It's disgusting. Like a big spider with a crispy exoskeleton.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Disgusting.